Okay, guys, right after the Battle of Antietam, which is what we should have accomplished on Thursday, finished up with those notes. This was the bloodiest single day in history. Um, one single battle in one 24-hour period killed approximately 23, either mortally wounded or were actually killed, 23,000 men. Um, right after that, Lincoln finds out about the Battle of Antietam, and initially he did not want to. He did not emancipate the slaves right away, and he had a reason for that. A lot of people are like, why didn't Lincoln free the slaves right away as soon as the war started in 1861? Well, it took him all the way to 1863 to emancipate the slaves. And the reason why is because right here, bullet point two, he did not want to anger the slave states, the border states, because they were still in the Union. He didn't want them to leave and go to the South. So what Lincoln did was he did not initially emancipate them. But right after the Battle of Antietam, when he finds out that 23,000 um, casualties of war happened at that battle, he goes ahead and issues the Emancipation on January 1st, 1863 Proclamation freeing the slaves in the area of rebellion. Now, hang on a second. That does not mean that this just freed them and they could go and, hey, we're out of here. Basically, what that meant was that the Union soldiers had to go down there and the generals had to go down there with their regiments, and they had to literally remove those slaves that were there. Like, they would take them and get them on their horses and wagons and whatnot, and they would take them in their boats and they would start to bring them to the north. This was emancipating them. This was also crippling the Southern economy. Again, this is all part of the Anaconda Plan. Their whole goal was to choke out and destroy the South, especially their economy. And it's going to take a long time. We already mentioned that a couple days ago. This also allows for the recruitment of African American troops. Now, what does that mean? That means now that African Americans can join the military, can join the Navy, can join the Army. And there was movies made about it. Glory is one, and I do recommend it. However, just be advised, and I will show you a clip of this, a trailer in your slides. This is just the trailer about the movie. Just be advised that there's some language and gory, violent imagery as well. They do use some language that's highly inappropriate in there as well, so just keep that in mind. I'm going to go back to that here in a second, but Emancipation 1863, again, he did not want to make these border states, because they were still part of the Union, mad by initially emancipating them, but when he did this, he still freed the African Americans in those areas. Okay, this is a copy of it right here. It's not very long. This is the Southern view of the Emancipation, looking at him as a monster, as someone that is not looking out for the interests of the United States. They were very angry with. You can see his foot on the Bible here. Very angry with Abraham Lincoln. Come and join us, brothers. This is the recruitment of African Americans. Frederick Douglass actually had sons that fought for the 54th Massachusetts. The 54th Massachusetts is what this movie is about right here, the movie Glory. 180,000 African Americans now are joining the military. The 54th Massachusetts is the most popular one. It was one of the first ones. They went through a lot of turmoil to get to that point. The military general was Colonel Robert Gould Shaw, who was in that movie Glory. I highly recommend it. This is also Denzel Washington. Young Denzel Washington is in that movie. Morgan Freeman is in this movie. It is a great movie about their bravery in fighting against slavery for the military. They didn't even get uniforms until years and months later. Okay, watch this, please, the trailer. I'm not going to play it for you on here, but let's go back to your notes real quick. And you should have some of the things that were in that slide already. Your Civil War slides. Here's the trailer. Please be advised that it has brutal warfare, violence, and gory images. The first battle of this movie is the Battle of Antietam. where in the movie takes place. And again, Antietam triggers the Emancipation of Proclamation from Abraham Lincoln. Okay, please go over here, answer these. What does emancipation mean? It means freedom. Where did the emancipation free slaves? Well, it freed them in the areas of rebellion. Where did it not free slaves? Um, I would answer that by saying, where did it not free slaves? It didn't free them in the South, but it did. Again, the colonels from the Union literally had to go down there and get them, because if you're a plantation owner, you're not just going to free them. You're not just going to, oh, okay, guys, Abraham Lincoln just said you guys can go, and so just make sure that you have that, understand that the Union soldiers and colonels had to literally go down there and get them. What were the two advantages the North received from the Emancipation Proclamation? Please go back here. Um, Here, let's take a look back here. This does not free anyone since the southern states had seceded from the Union. However, it does allow the Union generals to free slaves as their armies moved through the South, crippling their economy. And it also allowed for the recruitment of African American troops. So two advantages from that the North received is, number one, they were free to join the military and also join the Navy, join the Navy as well too. How did the South obey the Emancipation Proclamation? Obviously not. The Union soldiers literally had to go down there and get them. When was the Emancipation read in Texas? That is Juneteenth. Look up Juneteenth, please. That is a holiday, June 19th. By the end of the Civil War, how many African American troops were enlisted in the North? We have 180,000 enlisted in the North. Which African American regiment was the most famous? That would be the 54th Massachusetts. By the way, here is a picture, Juneteenth. Sorry, I spelled that wrong. Place a picture of Juneteenth celebration here. Place a picture of the Emancipation right here. You can grab it from this slide right here if you'd like to. This is the Emancipation Proclamation. Okay, that's all I have for you on the Emancipation Proclamation. Know that the Battle of Antietam triggers Abraham Lincoln freeing the slaves in the area of rebellion. Okay, guys, that's all I have for you. I will see you at your Google Hangouts if you have any questions.